Hi everyone, my name is Twinkle and welcome to a brand new video on my channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about one of the most requested airline topics, which is Emirates. Yes, in Emirates, the interview process specifically in India, and that is also for male candidates, is very rare, very difficult. So in this video, I have dedicated all the information towards male candidates, also for female candidates who are Indians specifically, and if you are from other nationalities, how is the process outside India, including the rounds, the questions, the timeline, every single thing. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. But before that, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, like the video if you like the kind of content I share, I create, and let's get into the video. So let me address the most important questions first. Do Emirates hire Indians, that to Indian males? So yes, they do hire Indian females from India, and you know the process is involving Frankfin or third-party agency, and if you have to go through directly their website, you have to be experienced. It happens, but the process is a little lengthy because there is involvement of a third party. And what about males? Males are not currently, or as far as I know from the past 3 to 4 years, there have not been many males. In fact, I haven't gone through any who have been recruited from India for Emirates. So how do they get into Emirates? That is the question. So if you're someone who wants to get into Emirates and who thinks that male or female, for female, if you want to spend that 1 or 2 lakh rupees of money for getting and becoming a student in Frankfin, and then you feel that you'll get a job, it's still not something that is guaranteed. So my recommendation for you would be to go to another location, preferably to Dubai or to Doha or to any other place where they are recruiting, and yes, you will be given full opportunity. And if you want to go out, then might as well go to a place where you have lesser crowd. I will talk about that in this video further. For male candidates also, since there's no point, they're not really recruiting, I haven't seen any, so rather than wasting your time in institutes and getting enrolled in courses just because you think the third party will give you a guaranteed job, I will say that use that money wisely to go ahead and to another location and give your interviews. Mind you, you all have to be experienced, and if you are spending that money, if you're someone who's experienced in an airline, then you definitely must go out and give an interview in another location. Don't worry if you're working in an airline currently, there is no problem. Specifically the cabin crew who's working in Middle East already, you can speak to your airlines very clearly, and they might even rule out your penalties or rule out your notice period. Not entire notice period, but at least you will not have to pay money if you haven't completed the bond period or the contract period. So be very honest about them. Yes, I know there have been news about how specific airlines like Qatar Airways had terminated their crew, but that was a story back then. I have now people who have been recruited from other locations and they have resigned within 1 year or so, and after, like, before completing their 2 years of period, and they have been able to do it very smoothly. I'm going to be sharing the rounds and interview process with the timeline. So for females, if you go to per se another location, which is per se Tbilisi in Georgia, which one of the candidates have gone and shared their experience with me, and this is what I'm doing with you here. So for females, it will take around 2 to 3 days because it's quick comparatively, but for males you still have to wait, and that wait could be around 4 weeks to 8 weeks, and that is normal in case of males. So let's talk about how the process works. So if you go out to any other location which is not very crowded, except Doha and Dubai, which is going to be crowded. If you go to a place like Tbilisi or Georgia, the candidates are very less as 80 to 100. So the competition is very less. In fact, you will not have any other Indians also. There is a case that you only have a few, like 2 or 3 or just none. So you still have an upper hand there. So when you go out to another location, then you will see that there are 80 to 100 candidates, and the first thing that you're going to do there is a presentation. So the recruiters will make you go through a presentation. They will explain you about the culture, about the airline, about the remuneration, benefits, all the things that you are signing up for. And if you have any questions, you can do. It's like a meet and greet. You can speak to them and they get to know you, after which they will give you a code using which you're supposed to register. Then and there you're supposed to register online and fill in a form with all your details, and they will help you with that. and then begins your actual first round of the interview. So when you talk about the rounds in interview, let me tell you, in general, they have a lot of group activities and they follow a proper strict assessment center technique, where in the group activities, they really want to see how do you work together as a team, how is your mindset, are you alert, how gracefully you do it, and there are a lot of other competencies which are checked. So there are very different activities which I'm going to tell you what happens. So round one has, it's sort of a laminated card, and there is a picture. It is quite similar to a picture perception test, where you're supposed to explain them what is happening in the picture in your own words and create a story. And there's also a human touch of what do you do and how would you solve that problem or situation. So there could be examples like there will be a cabin crew and a passenger, and that passenger might be asking help from you, or you would be pointing towards the baggage area, or there could be another situation where a customer is flipping through the magazine, maybe duty-free magazine, and you're talking to that person and explaining them something. Now you have to come up with a scenario where from your imagination you're going to explain what is happening. There are going to be 5 set of questions, where in first, number 1, you're supposed to come and give your introduction and then pick up one question and basically address that question and put a response to it. You will be doing this addressing all the candidates, all the remaining candidates. So you're standing in front of a crowd of 80 to 100 people, and obviously you're divided into a group of 5 or 6 people depending on the crowd there, and each person from that group again has to pick up one question which is written on that laminated card, which is related to the picture, and you're supposed to come, introduce, give a response to that question while addressing the audience. Example of questions would be, what is the scenario there, what are you going to do as a crew, what solution will you provide. So these sort of questions are going to be there, and if you're experienced, it's not going to be that difficult for you anyway. The competencies that are being checked here are that you're supposed to show attentiveness, your creativity in finding and coming up to a creative solution, your promptness of coming up with the solution again, product knowledge, teamwork, if you are unable to anticipate the problems of a customer, are you helpful, and your willingness to help. These are only a few competencies that are being checked. So since all these activities and all the 3 to 4 rounds, yes, are going to happen in one day, it is going to be a very long day, and it is a filtration elimination based round, which means if you make it to if you don't get selected in the first round, you will be filtered out, and only remaining 50% will go further, and this will continue until they have a final 8 to 10 candidates. Yes, so this again is filtered out. 50% of people will be filtered out and only 50% will remain. So if you have like 80 to 100, you'll have around 40 to 50 candidates remaining, or even lesser. Now let's come on to the second round, which is role play or situation based task, which is naturally time based. As much as 15 to 20 minutes are given, and there is a situation. So the remaining people are divided into groups of 10 each, and you're given another laminated card with a question. For example, they will tell you that you all were traveling and the plane has crash landed and you only have a few items on board. Which items will you choose and why, in the order of their priority? Another question could be that you all are traveling in a boat and you can only give the access to one person. Who will you give that access to? And there will be options. For example, will you give it to an unaccompanied minor, a frequent flyer member, an elderly passenger, a staff, a nursing mother? So there will be few options, and you have to select who will you give it to and why. And something like, there is only one option of meal left, who will you give it to? So there are questions which will require you to discuss each option as a team, as a group. So the competencies which are being checked here are teamwork. How do you work in a team? Your behavior, your non-verbal communication towards each other, your collaboration skills and your active listening skills. What is your volunteership, initiation or participation? What about your alertness, and what type of contribution if you're giving? If any, then what type? Is it adding any value or no value? So all these competencies are being checked thoroughly by the recruiters. One tip that I'd like to give you is do not gauge and keep looking at the recruiters and trying to find the feedback. At this point also, please remember, you have to work as a group. There's no individual agenda here. And to check that, the recruiters might also ask you an individual question like, are you happy with this, or do you have another option? So they would want to check if as a group you have a same opinion or you differ from the group, and how do you answer. So make sure that you all are on the same page. More than the result, it is about togetherness, it is about unity, it is about clarity of option and choice and equal opportunity as a group to each other. So do keep that into mind, and do not forget, if there is a question which says that you have to, there is a part of information in the card where it says that you have to choose a volunteer, and that person has to explain and give out opinions on why did you choose, then one of you will have to do that as well voluntarily. So don't forget to unanimously choose that one person also. Now let's come on to the round 3. After this also, almost 15% of people, 15 to 20% will be filtered, and you will have a group of at least 15 to 20 remaining, and then you will do your English test, which is done via a link. They will give you a link, and online you will perform this test. Don't worry, this test is pretty much easy, and there will be fill in the blanks on basic grammar. Once you clear this, which most of you will be taken to this round number 4, which is one-on-one comprehension. Now in this one-on-one, you will sit with the recruiter. They will give you again a card to read, and while you're reading, they will ask you questions based on that comprehension itself. Based on your reading and your understanding, you're supposed to answer those questions. You can go ahead and read and find the answers then and there in front of them. It is quite similar to English tests. Well, in English written tests, you're supposed to do it without speaking to the recruiter, but in this case, they will be judging you and checking you one-on-one. I feel this is simpler. Well, it depends on everybody, every single person, but here also you're supposed to do it one-on-one. Easy questions. For example, if it is about a girl or a neighborhood, then where is the neighborhood, what is the girl doing, what is her personality like? So all these answers will be written in your comprehension. All you're supposed to do is just be attentive and understand and answer the questions very carefully. Once you're done with this, next comes your round number 5, which is the final round, PI, personal interview round with a recruiter. In this round, you will be asked questions about your experience most probably, and all of them would be situation based. That's the standard for Emirates, which is why they recruit experienced people. So questions like, tell me about a time where you have exceeded expectations, or tell me about a time where you feel you worked more than the others, or tell me about your a time where you showed good teamwork or collaboration skills. Tell me about a time where you showcased your teamwork skills. So questions regarding collaboration and customer service and teamwork are a staple here, so you have to be prepared to answer this. This is very easy for anyone who's already a cabin crew or in hospitality, customer service to answer, provided you're prepared to answer them and not forming any rambling stories. That's pretty much about it, after which you're all asked to leave, and all your communications will be done through emails. As I said, for males you have to wait around 1 or 2 months to hear back, and for females it's comparatively very early, 2 to 3 days or to a week, and you will be given your joining date once you're done with your medicals and all the joining formalities. Once you're done with this, you will be obviously given a proper time period to serve a notice period in your existing company, after which you will be given your date of joining and you will be traveling successfully. And that's about it. It's pretty much easy and straightforward. I hope you found this video helpful. If you do, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe. If you have any questions about any rounds, any comments, any suggestions about upcoming videos, you know the drill. You have to put it down in the comment section below and I will take it from there. I will see you in my next video. Till then, take care and bye bye.